Hey, what's up? I'm Mark Terry Bellini, and in this video, I'm going to be painting this room. So I actually did a coat of primer about 2 weeks ago, and I used a sprayer for that. I just sprayed everything out. I am down to concrete right now, so I don't have to worry about the floor too much. So I don't have to put down drops and stuff. Even right now, I'm not using any drops because I'm going to be redoing this floor, so it's not a big deal. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the ceiling first and then do the walls. So the ceiling is using Benjamin Moore paint, and I'm going with Chantilly lace is what it's called, and it's basically a really nice white color. I'm going to be using that on the ceilings, and so I'm going to do that first. So I'm going to take a brush here and this pail, and I'm going to trim out the entire ceiling along the edges here with the brush, and then afterwards I'll go along with a roller and hit the rest of the ceiling. And the reason I'm using a roller instead of spraying it is because when you spray, it has a really nice finish, but if you do any touch up later with like a brush or a roller, it's going to leave like a little bit of a texture, and you don't have texture with the sprayer. So I'm going to roll it, so if I do any touch up later, I can just hit it with a roller and it's going to match perfectly. It leaves something called a stipple is what it leaves when you use a roller. So I'm using a very fine roller. I forget what measurement this one is. I can look it up in a minute, but this is for like a smooth, semi-rough finish, so it doesn't leave too much of a texture on the surface. And so I'm going to use that to roll everything out. And then once the ceilings are all done, I'm going to go back and do the walls. And the walls are a little bit of a grayish color, so they're not white like the Chantilly lace. It's more of a grayish kind of a color, so just a slight difference in the colors. So I'm going to have to edge out the ceiling, roll it all out, and then come back and edge out the walls all the way around, and then roll those out after that. So it's going to be a long day, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I'm just going to go ahead and start edging things out. I'll probably do a number of time lapses, and I'll check in every once in a while just to kind of show the progress. So let's get rolling. All right, so I'm going to be trimming out the ceiling here. I've got a 2.5 inch angled brush, which works really well for me. And I'm using this thing called the Handy Paint Pail, which is super handy because it has a liner in here, so I can just pull this liner out later when I'm going to trim out the walls, and then just put a new liner in, and I don't have to worry about cleaning stuff out. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And when I do this, basically just be going along the top here and get about a brush width all the way down. And if I get out on the walls a little bit, I'm not too concerned about it at this point, because I'm going to be going over it over the walls later. But basically, just going to kind of go along and follow that edge right there all the way down. And honestly, I prefer to kind of overlap it a little bit because I want to make sure I don't like miss a spot. So I'm going to definitely make sure I am in that corner, and then I'll just be more careful when I come along later. When I do the wall, I'll just edge it out with the wall color really nice. So I'm not too concerned about being perfect right now. Just got to get the paint on there and get enough coverage so I don't get the roller on here too much. So that's basically all I'm going to be doing, is going along and adding paints all the way around the room, and then I'll come back. I'll go ahead and time lapse, but I'll come back when I'm about to roll things out, and we'll go from there. So I have the whole room trimmed out on the ceiling, the closet as well, and I have the bathroom left to do, but the bathroom's a little bit different. So there's a lot of moisture in the bathroom because of the shower and everything. So it's important to look at the different paints you're using. So I picked up Aura by Benjamin Moore, and this is specifically for bath and spa. It's for high humidity environments, so it kind of protects things a little bit better. So something to keep in mind if you're going to be painting the bathroom, get something that has good protection against humidity so you don't have any problems. So I'm going to go ahead and trim out the ceiling with that, and then I'll get to start rolling everything out here, and I'll switch over to the Aura paint to roll out the bathroom ceiling. So I'm going to get rolling. All right, so the ceiling is all trimmed out. It's ready to go. I just need to roll everything and then I will be done with the ceilings and I can move on to the walls. A couple quick tips I wanted to mention. So you saw me cut out that other bedroom in there and then I started rolling and I had my brush, but I didn't clean it out. So what I did is basically I kept it in the bucket and I take a wet rag and I just throw it over the bucket and that keeps it so the brush doesn't dry out. So that's a great way to kind of set it aside for maybe a little bit, put it in the shade, it should be fine. And also when I was cutting out all the ceilings in here, I took the roller and I just wrapped it with plastic like this, and that keeps it from drying out as well. So I can just take the plastic off and it's ready to go. So just a couple of quick tips there. I'm gonna go ahead and get started and finish off the ceilings. All right, so I have everything trimmed out, all the rooms. I didn't want to switch back and forth between the roller and the brush. I just went ahead and did everything. So all I have to do now is just roll all the rooms and I'll be done. Something I wanted to mention when I was doing the ceiling, when you're thinking of the direction to go, think of the way like the light is coming in. So like for instance, like here, in the other room over here, there's the window. I was going this way to kind of go like with the light coming in the window, because that will help kind of like make it so you don't see any lines and stuff like that very easily from the roller, which can happen. So just do your best there. Same with the hallway here. I was going long ways because that's where the light's going to be traveling. So kind of keep that in mind when you're rolling the different directions. But I'm gonna go ahead and roll out all these walls. I started at about 1 o'clock this afternoon, just about, and it's 10 o'clock now. We'll see how far I get, but get going. All right, so the painting is done. As you can see, kind of have like an off-white, kind of a grayish color on the walls here. And then you can see the difference there on the white ceiling. So everything came out really good. It's one coat. What I'm gonna do eventually is do a floor leveler and stuff in here. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of grinding to flatten out the concrete. So it's gonna get a bit dusty and then I have to wipe off the walls. And I'll probably do a second coat at a later point in time to finish things off. But that about wraps it up. If you like this content, be sure to like and subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.